at me, do you? Notice my glasses don't sit straight on my face when I'm seeing you. About life I don't dream at all. You see me like I'm your firstborn. You see me like I'm still in fashion, baby. Hand me a pill for iron deficiency, and it's you that I see now. You are the death of me, honey, and you know that I'm your boy.
That was a song called You Are a Camera by Bunchy's Big Score, and I am super privileged to have Max from Bunchy's Big Score right here in the Dolby studio tonight.
Hey, welcome to the Dolby studio.
Kia ora, Dylan. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for coming over. I know it's a bit of a journey to get here. Hey, tell me a little bit about living and playing music and performing in the deep, dark south of New Zealand. I've noticed recently a lot of new, young, fresh bands playing down there. What's it like for you down there?
Playing music in the South Island, in Dunedin, Ōtepoti, it gets really cold down here. So, I don't know, and dark as well, as you said, the deep, dark south. So I think maybe there's something, to do with that influences the music and such amongst the bands. And lots of noisy stuff down here. Lots of younger bands as well. I think that's just happened pretty recently, I think it's sort of the same the nation over, really. The venues are sort of not plentiful enough to accommodate all of the young musicians and bands and such, like the scene is exploding so much that there's not enough infrastructure to nurture and support it. But thankfully, we've got a lot of really supportive people down here of the scene. Some of the places that Bunchy's Big Score likes to play the most are possibly yours and Pearl Diver. So we're pretty happy to have those venues down here. There is definitely Dunedin has a famously DIY attitude towards doing stuff because, there's not really any sort of, industry people down here. So Bunchy's is one of those bands. Planned our tour ourselves and stuff, which is cool. You got control over how you present yourself and over everything that you're doing. And, our posters and photos and stuff, we just get our mates to take them. But we're lucky to be surrounded by such, lucky to have such talented people as our mates, such as Ethan Montagneux and Ash McFarlane, who did our photos and tour poster respectively.
So living down in Ōtepoti, you talked about the music scene down there. It's got a bit of a music reputation, I guess, or you could say it's a hangover from the glory days of Flying Nun. Does that have an impact on the way people play music and their attitude to music down there? Does it make it more intimidating or more liberating?
That is a great question. I think that definitely, in terms of attitude, that sort of DIY attitude that bands like The Clean and The Chills and The Ladens and such sort of had back then because of just kind of like the geography of Dunedin and it's in many ways it's quite removed from the sort of like the corporate north, I suppose, which is where lots of the kind of like music business is. So I suppose in a lot of, like, for better or for worse, we're left with no other choice than to get things done on our own. And musically, I think definitely the influence of those bands carries over. Definitely for us. I mean, particularly big fan of The Clean and the Bats too, and Straight Jacket Fits. But I think most prominently, I would say that the attitude is the main thing, and I think that it'll continue to be like that unless, for whatever reason, there's a seismic shattering change to the musical infrastructure down here.
Oscar says you got your whole life behind you in a small way. Not a young boy on the street taking pictures of himself. Sandra says, got your headphones on, bright lights, train speak. Hey Sandra, are you a victim of European delicacies? I can hear your voice loud and clear, but I can't understand the feeling. My shoes are always on the wrong feet. I'm having trouble getting the words out.
I'm really intrigued by the name of your band, Bunchy's Big Score. I imagine this big, colourful picture book. Could you tell me, if it was a book, what would the book be about and what would the characters be in the book?
And the Bunchy's Big Score picture book, which is a great question, by the way, I think there would be, like, artificially enlarged animals, like huge animals walking around and, like, destroying the skyscrapers and stamping on them and stuff, and then tiny little people just running around trying to survive this new world of artificially enlarged animals that they have created themselves. And there's dragons in the sky.
Vincent says nothing while staring at my picture. And I'm standing right in front of him. I said, hey, buddy, how does it feel to be alone? I can hear your voice loud and clear, but I can't understand the feeling. My shoes are always on the wrong feet. I'm having trouble getting the words out.
Tell me about your new album, Wanda's Bicycle. How did you go about recording that?
So we recorded Wanda's Bicycle in Southlink Studios, which is this really cool thing down here in Ōtepoti. It's a free studio where you get like a week or two for free, depending on what you're doing. And we recorded with Nick Rowan, who's from a band called The Skeptics, which is kind of this sort of like industrial noise band from the Flying Nun days. And so that was really cool. Definitely different to how we recorded our first album, Happy Birthday, Daniel Johnston, which we did all Hamish and I, who used to be in Hamish Woodell, used to be in the band, and so we recorded that together at his flat at the time. So going into a real studio was definitely kind of, it definitely like yielded a different sort of album / sound. And so that was really good. We recorded it over 2 weeks. We rehearsed like really intensely for like 3 weeks maybe, just getting everything right before we went in there.
And I say, I'll pretend to be you in light of my alien features. Would you describe me as unfortunate company? I can hear your voice loud and clear, but I can't understand the feeling. My shoes are always on the wrong feet. I'm having trouble getting the words out.
We would play it as a band, like live pretty much to start off with, which wasn't really what I had happened for the first album. It was sort of a bit more of a Frankensteinian process, like drums, then guitar, then this, like sort of piecemealing it together. But this time it was a little bit more, like connected in the way that we were just playing live and then doing kind of overdubs afterwards and such. So yeah, it was really nice to record in a proper studio. I quite liked it, and I personally prefer, I think, recording more than playing live in many ways. It's sort of more relaxing, and I guess I love playing live, but it's quite exciting. Really just seeing what the end product is going to be. And yeah, very happy with how it turned out. So maybe for the third album we'll have to do something completely different in terms of the environment that we're recording in.
The song Oscar Says. Tell us a little bit about the characters of Oscar, Sandra, and Vincent.
Oscar, Sandra, and Vincent, kind of not like super real people, but just different instances of, miscommunication or like attempted communication between people where something, like usually something external, interrupts, the process of communication, and then something gets interpreted the wrong way. I just find it easier to kind of, tell stories with people with like existing names, I suppose. With the like Sandra one, I was kind of thinking about, what it's like to sit on public transport and such. So not necessarily direct communication with another person, but sort of more like overstimulation, I guess.
In that song, I get this feeling of a little bit of outsiderness, a little bit of alienation. Just with the lyrics, I can hear your voice loud and clear, but I can't understand the feeling. My shoes are always on the wrong feet. I'm having trouble getting the words out. And I say I'll pretend to be you in light of my alien features. Would you describe me as unfortunate company?
I think that you're quite right about that feeling of alienation, and I guess like I didn't necessarily like deliberately try to insert that into the song, but I think that not being able to express yourself efficiently can be an alienating experience. And I don't know, I think it's interesting that a lot of the way that we communicate is sort of learnt by copying other people. And I guess that's kind of what I was getting at in that final verse.
In a few of your songs, I've noticed some sort of recurring imagery. In the song, I Don't Want to Dance, you sing, searching for nothing in the bigger picture. You know the person who sees you obscures your vision. And Oscar says, not a young boy on the street taking pictures of himself. Vincent says, nothing while staring at my picture. You are a camera. You are a camera. When you look at me, you notice my glasses don't sit straight on my face when I'm seeing you.
I think, yeah, that's definitely true about perception, and I find that really the sort of like dissonance between how you appear to someone else and then how you see yourself. I don't know, that's always fascinated me, and I guess I've always been kind of obsessed with that. On our first album, we have a song called Glass Eye Contact, which is sort of, you know, flirting with the same ideas. And I think I'm not the only one who really thinks about that a lot, you know. Like, I think just most people in general are quite obsessed with how other people might see them, you know. And I think that cameras are an interesting way of sort of literalizing that. Like, the way that something looks on a camera is never ever going to be fully accurate or the same as how something really appears, you know, in reality. But then, like, by the same token, the way that something appears to one person, I guess, is not going to be like 100% accurate to reality either.
He smiles at strangers who don't know his name, feeling the warmth of nobody else but his own common sense. Reclusive on bus rides to easy amusement, searching for nothing in the bigger picture. You know, the person who sees you obscures your vision. Well, I don't wanna dance, you think you're the bee's knees, and I don't know anything. Don't worry, honey, your hate won't ever go to waste with me now.
One thing that's really impressed me with your music, and to be honest, it's impressed me with a lot of sort of new music these days, is when people are creating a pop song, you know, 10, 20 years ago, you just had to do a verse and a chorus and a verse and a chorus. And if you want to be really flash, you might chuck in a bridge. But a lot of songs these days are a lot more complex in what's going on. And I'm wondering, when you record a song, do you go into the studio with that sort of structural complexity in mind, or is it something that you create in the studio?
I think for Bunchy's in particular, we will have everything hashed out before we even like go to record. So we're in the studio for, I guess, like as little time as possible, since studio time can be hard to get. But I think you're right that songs are typically more complex, and I think maybe that has something to do with the internet, for better or for worse, and just, you know, I guess the quote unquote like death of monoculture, and people sort of having access to like all of these different genres of music, whereas, you know, back in the day, I guess everyone was sort of getting music through television, radio, and sort of all from the same like pools. But yeah, that's kind of all changed now. So I think just people on average are exposed to more sort of like subversive genres of music and and structures of music as well. For Bunchy's, I think if I'm trying to do like a sort of more conventional pop song, I will try and stick to a more conventional sort of formula and just keep it as simple as possible, because I think that while you know, music is typically a little bit more complex because of what I discussed before, I suppose. I think that sort of simplicity in songwriting, it's easy to forget that in light of, I guess, being exposed to, like, you know, lots of unconventional music. Because, like, for me personally, I don't love to write songs that have, like, heaps of different sections and stuff, because I think it can sort of, I guess, like, alienate your audience a little bit. And, you know, there's a reason why those sort of old structures of pop music are so tried and true, because they work.
You love to laze in the sun while my simple words become shopping lists. You're lucky
where can people go if they want to listen to your music?
Bunchy's Big Score is available pretty much anywhere where you'd get your music, you know. As much as I dislike streaming, you know, it's on there, just so people can have access to it and such. But we also we're doing a CD release for Wanda's Bicycle, and we hope to have some vinyl made in the near future. But Bandcamp is our preferred service, I suppose, if you want to support Bunchy's, I suppose, for the music. You know, Bandcamp is the best way to do so, and just, I guess, you know, grabbing a CD or a shirt or something.
Hey Max, thanks so much for joining us here at the Dolby City Studios.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful to come to the Dolby studio. It's just been lovely to chat with you.
It's been a real pleasure to have you here, man. Thank you so much for the effort. We're going to go out with a song called There Goes My Head.
There goes my head, prisoner at a party with me and my likeness, drawing bad hands from the hole inside the wall, staring at the cracks upon my bleeding lips. Red, 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 baby, red. There goes my head. There goes my body, lying down in silence, flattened by the plastic blanket, pushed into the brown paper bag where a man's never contained, watching from the outside of the room. There goes my head. Drying round the edges and the inside of my head, pulling clumps of broken hair out to spread it on the floor. I'm just a baby, I'm just a chair on fire. And I wasn't what I thought I was. Everybody saw the real me. I wasn't what I thought I was. Everybody saw the real me.
Oh dear, it's getting late. That was I enjoyed that tonight. It was a good interview. That Max, here's some good ideas. Bunchy's Big Score. What an awesome idea for a kids book. Still can't get that thought out of my head. I'm thinking of actually, I'm going to pop into local publishing house just to pitch the idea on my way home. Dolby Books, it's called. Here it is right here. Hello, evening.
State your division.
Oh, I don't have a division. I've got an idea though.
Dolby Books accepts manuscripts on Tuesdays between the hours of 4 and 4:15 a.m. only.
Oh, sorry about that. Look, I'm Dylan from Radio Dolby 89.6 FM. My studio's just down the street. I didn't bring a manuscript. I just had this concept hit me during the interview with Max from Bunchy's Big Score, and I thought, maybe it'd make a great children's picture book.
A picture book for the youth, to instruct them in the ways of the city. Proceed with the summary.
Okay, get this. The story is set in a city, maybe a bit like this one, but the people get greedy and they start tinkering with things they shouldn't, and they create these artificially enlarged animals. They're huge, towering things. It's a bioengineered giants. Anyway, the animals, they get loose. And they're running around destroying the whole place. They're stomping on skyscrapers like they're made of cardboard. And all these tiny, micro-sized people are running around the streets in panic, just trying to survive in this nightmare world of giants that they created with their own hands. And to top it all off, there are these massive ancient dragons circling the sky above the smoke. What do you think?
Who gave you this? Where did you intercept the transmission?
No, there's no transmission. I just told you. It's just this hypothetical story that Max...
Shut your mouth. Shut it right now.
Hey, wait a minute. It's just an idea. It's a potential kid's story.
Mr. Dolby, do you think this is a game? Bunchy's Big Score. It isn't a children's book title, you idiot. It is the classified code name for the ministry's urban renewal initiative. Max didn't invent that story. He leaked it to you.
Max? No, Max is a musician. He's an artist.
Come on, don't play with me. What did he tell you?
What?
What does he know about?
There's nothing to know about.
The growth serum vats in the lower sump being prepped?
No.
What else do you know about this?
Nothing. It's just an idea.
These are structural blueprints. The tiny people running around, that's us. That's the citizens of Sector 4. And those dragons you think are so poetic? Those are the bioengineered aerial cleansers the board will release into the smog layer to burn the evidence. You didn't pitch a children's book. You just broadcast an active takeover of the entire city.
Right. So what should I do?
They know you know. And they track every signal that leaves your transmitter. If I were you, I'd stop talking, and I would run.
Okay, I'm going to leave. All right, this is Dylan Dolby, and if you're hearing this, get off the streets, go underground. Max was right. Bunchy's coming, and he's already keeping score.